Because if they were really putting purge masks on and dry humping these freshmen who are making mistakes in practice, and they had a title for it called running, you would think at some point one of these freshmen wouldn't make the team or have a successful career at Northwestern, and they would just say something and this would have got out. Allegedly, this has been happening for a good amount of time.
And that's what's so scary about this whole Northwestern football hazing scandal that Pat McAfee is referring to. The alleged abuse went on for years and years, and nothing was being done about it. That says a whole lot about the culture within the program, where people's bodies are being violated. And for Pat Fitzgerald to say he had no knowledge of what was going on, maybe, perhaps. But Stephen A. Smith makes a great point about that excuse.
You can't use ignorance as an excuse. We live in a world where misogyny takes place, where xenophobia exists, and most certainly homophobia and transphobia. So when hazing involves sexualized acts and nudity, you never know what level of discomfort that could create for somebody else.
And another point, nobody's going to believe that Pat Fitzgerald did not know this was going on within his program, as Stephen A. and so many others have mentioned. Like, you are the head coach. The buck stops with you. And you have several players, current and former, confirming that hazing went on. So you failed here, inevitably. But this brings up a larger point, as Mike Florio states.
A responsible head coach, a leader of men, especially young men who are entrusted to that program, entrusted to that school by parents who presumably in most cases support very diligently the effort and the decision, and you got different places you can go. You choose to go there, you choose to give your child to that school, and you assume that the football program is going to have processes in place that would allow, for example, the moment there's anything inappropriate, you can go straight to the head coach. And the players, the young players, feel comfortable going straight to the head coach.
Clearly, the players did not feel safe going to their head coach to discuss these issues and grievances because they probably felt they wouldn't be seen or heard, and or that Fitzgerald was actually in on the hazing and encouraged it. But if you think this was just happening at Northwestern or is happening at Northwestern, I got some news for you.
My big picture takeaway, if they've got a hazing problem at Northwestern, where else do they have hazing problems? Can't be the only college program that allegedly has a system in place to discipline young players that make mistakes during practice. I mean, it really does have some connective tissue to A Few Good Men and Code Reds and phone bills and foot lockers. I mean, it really does.
If it is happening at a great academic institution like Northwestern, you better believe it is taking place at other major programs around the country where they prioritize athletics a whole lot more than the academics and moral side. My thing is, create a culture where you will not tolerate hazing. Make sure your players know that from day one when they set foot onto campus. That is not going to be tolerated. We are not going to live in that type of environment. Our players are going to be valued and seen, and they're not going to be bullied. Do better. The players and the coaches. For TYT Sports, I'm Chris Williamson. We'll see you next time.